So good morning. Yeah, I think it's a fair description of where we are. We are still in the midst of the pandemic, and 2020 will likely be, the worst contraction in more than a century, with the global economic activity plunging by more than 4%. But as you said, there's hope. There are vaccines in sight, and we think that they will be gradually deployed throughout 2021. And that, together with health policy and fiscal support, that will help us recover throughout the year. Now, there's still lots of uncertainty. Vaccines are deployed more quickly. If governments act faster, then there's a risk, a positive upside scenario where we would recover much faster. Obviously, should there be logistic issues or distribution issues or further lockdowns, then we could be worse than what the 4% for global growth we're projecting for 2021.
The huge amount of fiscal support and also monetary support that has been supplied to the system this year in order to keep businesses afloat and to keep the economies ticking. How much of a crutch to the overall recovery does that represent? And is there a risk of some of that accommodation being withdrawn too quickly just as the recovery begins to gain speed?
I think fiscal support it's really key, and that's one of our overarching message, that it keeps up. It's super important. We learn the lessons from the past. Governments must not withdraw the fiscal support too early. Monetary policy, because of the low inflation and low economic activity, will continue to be supportive. Rates will remain low for a long time. Debt services today are much lower than what they were 5 or 6 years ago, even though the ratio of debt to GDP are much higher. So there is room and there is need for government to maintain this fiscal support. And it's not that we don't care about the debt, but 2021 is not the right time to look at it. When the recovery will be well underway, when unemployment will have started declining, then we will have to deal with the debt.
And certainly that raises a big debate about debt servicing costs, because hand in hand with the fiscal stimulus has been a huge blowout in public deficits, and lots of people are getting concerned about how wide these deficits are going to be and for how much additive it's going to be for sovereign debt in years to come. So just to rephrase what you were saying then, you don't think that 2020 should be the right time for governments to start thinking about reining in spending?
Absolutely. We don't think, on the contrary, I think with vaccine in sight, governments are vindicated with the monetary and fiscal support that they have been deploying, and they should continue. It should be targeted wisely, because one day somebody is going to ask where the money has gone. So it should go to viable firms. It should go to investment in education. We highlight, how some people are falling through the cracks, how kids are being hurt. So it should be wisely targeting. It should go into investment in digital as well, and obviously the green economy. But it should be there. Because that keeps people in job, that keeps firms going, and that's what we need to do until we return to a more normal life.